Good morning. Welcome to the Corporation, the Township of Lake of Bays. This is our council meeting for Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025. Before I start the meeting, I wanted to acknowledge a friend has passed in Baysville. And for those of you who are watching or not as familiar, a gentleman named Alex Moeller passed. He was 102. And I had done several videos with Alex. Alex was a bright, shining light in Baysville, and he'll be dearly missed. So I wanted to let everybody know that. So with that, I'd like to call the meeting to order. I have a amendment moved by Councillor Goddard, second by Councillor Anderson. Be resolved, the council meeting agenda dated June 3rd, 2025 be adopted as amended. In addition, we have already one. Now we have a second closed session, a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you very much for that. So I'd like to ask Councillor Croy, good morning, welcome to read our land acknowledgement statement. Before that, I'd like to ask everyone in the gallery, please be sure your cell phones are turned off. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And then, hello, we recognize that we gather here in the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe and the Haudenosaunee nations, acknowledging we are settlers here. We make our homes today on land bound by Treaty 13. It is through the long stewardship over thousands of years and the forced sacrifices of the original inhabitants that we are able to make this beautiful place our home. The ongoing stewardship of the environment is a legacy we must strive to treasure and preserve as we continue to learn from one another and grow together, sharing our collective history. We invite everyone to investigate the findings of the Truth and Reconciliation Committee and the treaties that still bind us so that we may share this land with honor and respect. Miigwech. Thank you.
Miigwech, Councillor Croy. I'd like to ask Council, is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof? Not seeing any. Thank you for that. Okay, this morning we have a number of delegations. First up, we have a staff recognition. Morgan Lonsdale, Economic Development Coordinator, has received the Certificate in Economic Development, Fundamentals of Community Economic Development, University of Waterloo. Now, usually when we do these, I get a report card too. I don't have one today. I hope you passed, or whatever has to happen. But Council, if you join me in an applause, congratulations. Next up, we have Joyce Jonathan Crone from Hope Arises Project, Inc., and she's going to give us an overview of vision mission for 2025 initiatives. Good morning and welcome.
I think so. Sego Guego, Nidi Wageno, Ganagahaga Oswego, Nidi Wasoda. I'm Joyce Jonathan Crone, President and founder of Hope Arises Project Incorporated. And so thank you, Mayor Glover and the Town Council for having me. Being able to present to you is full circle because over the past 2 years, I have done presentations with Gravenhurst, Bracebridge, and Huntsville, and I'm honored to be here to present to your township as well. I want to give you a very quick history of Hope Arises, just so you understand a bit who we are and where we're from. We're an Indigenous-led. We were a not-for-profit as of November 2022, and I'm thrilled to announce that as of April of this year, 2025, we just became a charitable organization. So it's taken us a short period of time of only 3 years to be able to accomplish that, which then allows us to be able to expand what we do and how we serve our Muskoka community. We originally began as 2 moms well before Hope Arises 3 years ago. And it was myself and my settler girlfriend, which that's what she called herself. And we were running partners and workout partners. And we were training for half marathons. So she and I heard of the unearthing of the 215 children in Kamloops, BC. And it was very difficult that year to raise a flag, a Canadian flag on July 1st. So we decided as two moms to call friends and family. We had 30 people show up on the bridge, the Ravenscliff overpass. And it was so lovely because we had such a great response. And this wasn't even Hope Arises, and we just thought, we can do this. So we gathered, and you will receive an orange ribbon. We gathered, we asked friends and family to bring a hockey stick, bring the end of a broomstick, and let's attach these orange ribbons. And we went on the Truth and Reconciliation website, and we found the names of children on that website who never came home and who remain voiceless and who have never been found. So that's how we started. And so the next year, we had 100 people join in. The year after that, we had over 200 people because Bracebridge asked if they could stand on their overpass at the exact same time. And so that was the foundation of Hope Arises project. And the name that you will receive on your orange ribbon is, these are all wrapped by volunteers, and we've given away hundreds upon thousands of ribbons over the past 3 years. They appear in a vessel in the Grapevine, and that's one of our projects that I will be explaining to you and how it's linked to what we do. So our vision and mission is, our vision is to revitalize Indigenous ways of being, knowing, and doing. And we envision a community, so that means our Muskoka community, committed to fostering cultural parity, diversity, and acceptance of all. And part of that vision is when we can have hope. And I just heard it coined this way just the other day by Michelle Good, the author of the book Five Little Indians, and she said, when we have hope, we can then have a new way of understanding. So the way I put it is we have a new way of knowing. When you have that new way of knowing, then you can have a new way of being, and then you have a new way of doing. So hope and radical hope is all about action. It's about truth. So as we are working toward reconciliation in our communities, that we have to first believe the truth. And when I do presentations, not this kind of presentation, but workshops and our cultural competency presentations, it can be very difficult because we're explaining the truths. And so if there's misunderstanding or misconceptions or misbelief or stereotypes that still exist, values that haven't been embedded in us, then it's hard to have that hope. So once we do believe and know the truth, then these truth actions that we are doing with Hope Arises and expressions of reconciliation, then we will see it. The elders say that we have to look back 7 generations and look forward 7 generations. And right now we're at a crucial point. We're living history. So we have the choice to make change, and those changes will lead to our children and our children's children, our descendants, yours and mine, having a very different world to live in. And it's like we're on this precipice where we're waiting. We're asking the question, well, what can I do? And that's the action. So part of our mission is to strengthen cultural understanding and knowledge and to address those misconceptions, the cultural misconceptions and barriers. And it can be very messy and uncomfortable for us to look at that. Some of you attended, so thank you, the May 5th Missing and Murdered Indigenous Girl and Two Spirited People walk that we had in Huntsville. It was very touching, but also impactful. And the reality of that is not history, it's ongoing. So it's not just looking at the past, it's looking at what are those causes, then how can we work for change? And that's what we are all about. We're about education and change. And what we offer expressions of the 94 calls to action. We offer expressions of, we believe in what the Truth and Reconciliation Commission says, and we uphold that in all we do as a charitable organization. Just to very quickly share a few of the ongoing initiatives that we do, and some pretty exciting ones coming up in the end of the year in 2026. So we've had our Sacred Strength gallery level ribbon skirt exhibit that has gone to different locations inside and outside of Huntsville and our Muskoka area. It's been as far as North Bay at Canadore College. And and also our May 5th event. So we also have June 21st coming up, National Indigenous Day, and we work in tandem with the town of Huntsville and the Huntsville Library to bring that together. This year, for the second year, we will be having an event for students on June 20th, and that will be at the Muskoka Heritage Place. And we had last year 50 students. This year we have over 250 that are coming, and we're still looking for more students, and the public is invited to attend that day as well. And we have our downtown pretty unique in our Muskoka community. I think, well, I'm hoping we're the only ones in Canada, but I can't coin that yet. But we are one of the only communities that have flags, the Gifts of the Seven Generation flags that fly downtown Huntsville 2 different times a year. They're up there now, the month of June, and they'll be up for the month of September, honoring September 30th and Orange Shirt Day and Truth and Reconciliation Day. One big exciting event, which you'll all receive invitations to, and hopefully you can come, is our first Indigenous fundraising gala experience. And we've entitled that Gala of Hope. That will be October 24th at the Algonquin Theatre. And we're hoping for a sellout crowd as we work together to be able to bring our community more educational opportunities for Indigenous and non-Indigenous youngsters, youth, adults. And we want to team with a variety of organizations like Minds Aid, like Enliven, so that we can bring, and the Parry Sound Friendship Center, to be able to bring opportunities for our community members. Another very exciting one is that we have written, Hope Arises over the past year with funding through the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, TRC, have written a book, and it's illustrated. The name is The Emily Redbreast Story, Remember Us. And it is written by a local author, Monique Charlton, who is part of Hope Arises board. She's a writer, and also it's illustrated by Ashley Hall, an Indigenous artist from our area. And we will be offering this book along with our Orange Ribbon program to schools across Canada, to school boards. We've also written, myself and another retired teacher, written curriculum that will go alongside this book. And so we will be getting this published. It's just the raw first go at it. So that's just a few examples of what we do in our community and how we serve our community and how we can be change makers. Fully aware of where we're at in history, and that we want to leave our mark, and we want to leave a legacy, and so that one day we will. We're here for a moment, right? We're here only for a whisper of time, and we want to leave a footprint. We will be the ancestors. All of us will be in the future, and we want to create in Muskoka a lifestyle that is fully accepting of people of all color and race and creed. And I know that firsthand, having been bullied growing up for the color of my skin. And so I see myself reflected in my community here of Muskoka. And I'm grateful for that, because when I first got here in 2005 as a summer resident, I did not see other people of color, and I did not see myself reflected in this community. And that now I see that the community has come together, that we're standing together and working together to create change. So my ask is that the township of Lake of Bays join and as community partners, as allies, as collaborators, that we can bridge outside of where I live and my address in Huntsville to be able to bring opportunities that are getting organized, that we've applied for grants for, that we are asking that we can become collaborators with you and work with you for change for the future. Nyawakoa.
Well, thank you very, very much for the presentation, Joyce. Council questions or comments? Don't see any hands, but I got to say thank you so much for the work that you do. It's really important work. I've attended at least 3 of the events. I'm trying to think back of which ones I've attended that you've held, but you're very busy. You keep everybody really going there. And we appreciate it. It's a great message. I love the whole collaborative concept of what you're doing. And thanks so much for everything you do. I see Councillor Brooks might want to make a comment. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to share that Councillor Godard and I were participating in the walk on the 5th. So it was an enlightening experience.
Okay. Anyone else? So thank you very, very much. Thanks for coming today. And we'll pass these around, I guess, later on.
Yes, thank you. Much appreciated. And Hope Arises would like to present you, Mayor Glover, with one of our logo T-shirts that we have.
Oh, that's very
And that
nice.
design was done by a First Nations person who lives in Huntsville.
Wow, that's very kind of you. Thank you. Okay, next up we have Glenn Cunnington, PhD Manager, Watershed Programs District, Municipality of Muskoka. Good morning, sir, and welcome.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and through you to the rest of council. It's my pleasure to come here this morning and speak with you briefly about integrated watershed management and an opportunity for the township to participate in some additional work that or initiatives that are going on in the region. So over the past recent history, we've had several instances of issues that are increasing in magnitude and frequency, issues that in the past we haven't had to deal with. And those issues are being driven by things like changing climate. They're resulting in things like floods that cause extensive and personal property damage, damage to infrastructure, damage to the general community. They also include things like wildfires. We're seeing an increase in wildfire activity across not just Canada, but we're seeing more and more of them in Ontario and coming closer and closer to our region every year. We're also seeing issues with economics, declining workforces, changing availability of staff and jobs and things like that. We're seeing declines in water quality, seeing struggles with housing and homelessness. And these issues are things that we aren't just being faced alone. And sometimes they can feel overwhelming. I know I work on a very small team, and sometimes when we're trying to deal with these things, we look at it and we say, how can we possibly do this? What are we going to do? How can we possibly, we're only a few people. How can we really make a change? And the short answer is we can make a change, but it's about looking at how we're doing things and maybe looking at how we can do them a little differently. And so this is where integrated watershed management comes in. Integrated watershed management in and of itself is collaborative, it's holistic, it's adaptive, it's evidence-based, it's about the environment, it's about the economy, it's about society. Integrated watershed management is really about working together to try to share knowledge and resources and our experiences to better the lives of all of those within the Muskoka River watershed. And so it's important to know that integrated watershed is not about adding additional layers of bureaucracy. It's not about reducing and taking away the autonomy of individual municipalities. It's not intended to result in additional financial strain on the individual municipalities either. In practice, integrated watershed management is about aligning policies to bring our work together so that we can work better and more collaboratively. It's about bridging economic programs across the region. It's about sharing resources and solutions. And really, if you're sort of listening to the underpinnings, it's about partnerships. It's about collaboration. And I think at the township, you're already so far ahead of the curve because you're working so closely and so well with the town of Huntsville. And you're actually setting a standard by which the remaining municipalities in the area should be looking at and saying, how could we take on the same type of approach that Lake of Bays has, where we can work so well with our neighbors? In the future, integrated watershed management may lead to the production of a new watershed management plan that would help to deal with all of these things, but we're not there yet. Right now, where we're at is we're trying to find a way to start to work better together. And while Lake of Bays does do it very well already, the rest of us are still working on how we work better and more collaboratively with our municipal colleagues. And that's really the ask before you today. The district has put together a proposed interim approach about how staff may get together and start to develop an understanding of how we might make decisions, work together and identify issues, and create a little bit of an understanding about how that could be structured. And so, thank you.
Well, thank you very much for the presentation. Questions? Council, committee, go ahead. Councillor Papard.
Thank you. Thank you through you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for the presentation, Glenn. It's excellent. I always ask this question, you're going to know. There's so many elements of integrated watershed management that we need eventually to bring into our official plans, into the way we do business. The one I always ask about is natural heritage systems. So even though Huntsville and Lake of Bays have the community planning permit system, which reaches beyond the watershed, beyond the shorelines, it's the whole thing. It's the forest, it's the wetlands. How do you envision us doing a better job of managing that broader scale watershed?
Yeah, thank you for the question, and through the mayor to the councillor. The reality is that we're still trying to figure out what that looks like. We've done a great job with our policies generally about protecting water. We've got great policies around shoreline setbacks and maintaining buffers and things like that, maintaining wetlands, but we haven't focused a whole lot necessarily on the terrestrial environment. And so moving forward, I think that's one of the pieces that we do need to review. Currently, the district has a project that we're looking to fund through some grants to help develop a natural heritage system across the region.
Excellent. Thank you.
Further, I wanted to also mention for council and possibly folks watching at home and staff, this also, when we had our first meeting in Huntsville of this watershed group, there were a wide range of people that were invited, including our First Nations folks. And I know that I sat with a couple of them throughout. We moved around from table to discuss different things. And it was facilitated by, I believe, district staff. And we were divided into, I don't know how many groups. You guys, I can't remember, Mike, you were there, and yeah. But at any rate, I want to say that I just wanted to let everybody know that yes, we and also are including our friends and partners, the First Nations, and in this project, it's very, very important. But I do have a resolution, council. I'll read it, and then if there's any further comment. Moved by Councillor Papard, seconded by Councillor Croy. Whereas integrated watershed management, IWM, is a modern approach to environmental management which integrates information and decisions made to achieve collective watershed-wide goals. And whereas management of the Muskoka River watershed requires coordination between the provincial government, regional and local watershed municipalities, First Nations, and environmental stakeholders. And whereas one of the next steps in bringing an IWM approach to the watershed is to form a Muskoka River watershed IWM staff working group. Now therefore be resolved, the Council of the Corporation, the Township of Lake of Bays supports in principle IWM and approach for the Muskoka River watershed, and further that staff be directed to participate in the IWM staff working group and report back to Council on the future state of the Muskoka River watershed plan. All those in favor? It's carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we're into the consent agenda. You have the. Yeah, I was just going there. Have we received any comments from the public?
No, Mayor Glover, we haven't received any concerns or complaints or comments on the surplus reports.
I haven't heard from any counselors, so I'll read this. Moved by Counselor Brooks, seconded by Counselor Anderson. Whereas items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine and enacted in one motion. Council members may request one or more items be removed from the consent agenda for separate discussion and or action. Each and every matter of business contained in the consent agenda is recorded separately in the minutes of the meeting. And whereas Council of the Corporation of the Township of Lake Bays reviewed the consent agenda consisting of various proposed resolutions, bylaws, now therefore be resolved, the mayor and council approve and adopt the recommendations contained in the consent agenda dated June 3rd, 2025, direct staff to proceed with all the necessary administrative actions. All those in favor? It's carried. Thank you. I have parks first, right? Go ahead.
Yes, this one is just a housekeeping amendment. Marion White Park was included in the list of township-owned properties that were not needed or required for future municipal operations and subsequently declared surplus and conveyed to Suzanne David on April 8th. And this council passed a bylaw. So this bylaw that we have tabled here today is to remove Marion White Park from our list of public parks.
Questions, comments? Okay, I have the bylaw, the Corporation of the Township of Lake Bays bylaw number 2025-099, being a bylaw to amend bylaw 12-096, being a bylaw to regulate public parks. All those in favor? It's carried. Next up, I have Corporate Services Clerk, deposition of township-owned properties, Biguin Island.
Thank you. Further to council's direction to conduct a comprehensive review and to investigate township-owned land that were suitable for sale and disposition, senior management explored a number of properties that could potentially be disposed of. Of those properties presented at the February 13th council meeting, there are two beautiful waterfront properties on Biguin Island that staff deemed to be marketable. The first property, located at 32 Biguin Island, is a nicely sized 1.73 acre lot featuring a generous 720 feet of frontage on Lake Bays. The property is only accessible by water and is currently assessed at $821,000. The second property, located at 540 Biguin Island, is a slightly undersized lot at 0.58 acres featuring 160 feet of frontage on Lake Bays. The property is also only accessible by water and is currently assessed at $336,000. Biguin Island is an important landmark for the township as a whole, and it is recognized worldwide as a recreational destination. During the redevelopment of the island, previous councils were interested in maintaining public parkland on the island to ensure that the public had access to appropriate public space on the island. However, as a result of the last Parks and Open Space and Recreation Strategy presented to council on March 14th, 2023, it was recommended that the municipality undertake a feasibility study for developing a park on Biguin Island. Park staff have advised that maintaining and monitoring a park on the island would be very challenging. Trespassing was also a major concern for the Island Association. Subsequently, staff are not recommending council retain this land for the purpose of a public park. In accordance with the township's acquisition, sale, and disposition of land policy, staff are recommending the disposition of both Biguin Island properties by way of the township's realtor of record, who has appropriate sales experience, local market awareness, marketing strategies, and resources to dispose of the subject lands once they've been declared surplus by council at current market value or more. I'm available if you have any questions.
Okay, council, you read the report. Questions? Counselor Tapley.
Just a comment. I think the assessment's very low.
Yes, you're correct that the assessment is still the same MPAC assessment that hasn't been reevaluated since 2016, but those properties would go on the market for market value, which was indicated in the report.
Counselor Anderson.
Thanks, Mayor Glover. I'm in support of this, but is this property ever used by the public? Like, is it ever, do we ever have people popping in there, or do they even know about it?
I will turn to our Superintendent of Parks.
Good morning, Your Worship. So far, all we know is that it is used by just some people in the area that cut across our property as they walk back and forth along the island. I don't think very many people are aware it even exists.
Counselor LaCroix.
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I'm in support of selling it. I know in 2014, I think it came up before and we decided to keep it, but nothing's happened since. And in reality, to keep those properties, to buy a boat for parks and to go out there and clean up the garbage that's going to be there constantly. And if we ever put a dock there and allow people to use it, I think it would add a lot of hardship to Parks and Rec. So I think it's in best interest of the township to try and get as much money we can and sell these and use the money for a good cause.
Anyone else? Okay, I have a bylaw. Yeah. Moved by Councillor Goddard, seconded by Councillor Papard. Whereas the Council Corporation of the Township of Lake Bays receives a staff report, land disposition of township-owned properties, Biguin Island, dated June 3rd, 2025. And whereas on February 13th, 2024, staff presented a report outlining township-owned properties, and Resolution TC 39/2024 was passed directing staff to conduct a comprehensive review and investigate some township-owned properties that are suitable for sale and disposition. And whereas senior management have reviewed and selected a number of township-owned properties that can potentially be disposed of, be it resolved, the Council Corporation of the Township of Lake Bays declares the following township-owned real properties to be surplus, approved for sale, and to be listed with the Township Realtor of Record. Part Lot 28 and Part Lot 29, Reserve E, Plan B, Biguin Island, former Township of Franklin, now in Township of Lake Bays, in the District Municipality of Muskoka, Township-owned land, 32 Biguin Island, property roll number 4427010022044800. And Part Lot 44, Plan 10, Part 1 and 6 on 35R 11255 Biguin Island, former Township of Franklin, now in the Township of Lake Bays, in the District Municipality of Muskoka, Township-owned land, Lot 44, Biguin Island, property roll number 4427010022064001. And further that the Director of Corporate Services Clerk is hereby instructed to dispose of the said properties pursuant to the listing with the Realtor of Record and be authorized to establish listing values for the subject property. And further that Director of Corporate Services Clerk, in consultation with the CEO and the Township Solicitor, be authorized to negotiate the final purchase price and the terms and conditions of agreements of purchase and sale. And further that Mayor and Director of Corporate Services Clerk be authorized to execute any documentation necessary to give effect to the sale and transfer of the subject properties. Any further comments? Councillor Tapley. All those in favor? It's carried. Thank you. Thank you. There you go. That one's been dealt with. Okay, moving along, I'm into communication items. Holy cow. Okay, so there's a number of items listed that myself and council have participated in. Does anyone have anything that they'd like to add? Councillor Papard.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a little bit. We met yesterday with the Muskoka Community Foundation to discuss student bursaries, and we have made our decision. And once they alert the students that they're successful, we'll be letting council know all the students who received the awards, the grants, and we're hoping to do maybe a photo op with you at graduation day in Huntsville.
Okay, please pass the date along as soon as you can. And Councillor LaCroix, did you have something you wanted to add? Go ahead.
Yeah, just a quick thing, Mr. Mayor, that myself and councillors Anderson and Tapley, were at a Dorset Community Partnership Fund meeting, on Monday, last Monday.
Okay, anybody else? Seeing none, thank you for all of that. Was there something? Okay, hang on, I'm trying to get to the end of all that. Okay, we're going into closed, right? That's where we are. Okay, moved by Councillor Anderson, seconded by Councillor Godard. Be it resolved that in accordance with section 239(1), 2, and 3.1 of the Municipal Act C-25 SO 2001 as amended, Council of the Corporation of the Township of Lake Bays will convene in closed session at 9:35 for discussion regarding Chief Administrator Officer's report on midterm strategic plan for the purpose of educating or training the members, provided they do not materially advance business or decision-making, and administration of proposed or pending acquisition, disposition of land by the municipality or local board. All those in favor? It's carried. Thank you. Okay, thank you for that. We're back. Moved by Councillor Brooks, seconded by Councillor Picard. Be resolved, the Council Corporation of the Township of Lake of Bays reconvene at 10:19. In open session and report on matters discussed in closed session. All those in favor? It's carried. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
With, sorry, I just wanted to bring this up, and now that the agenda's over, with council's indulgence, we'd like to recommend something for meeting efficiency. The mayor didn't read too many resolutions this meeting, but he has been reading quite a bit. And what we're going to suggest is that he doesn't read the resolutions, the motions anymore, that he's going to ask council. They're attached to the report. Everybody can see them, the public can see them. So he will ask if there's any questions, if there's any amendments, and then all in favor. If that is okay with this council, then that's how we will proceed with the next council meeting. Any questions? Do you think that's okay? It just saves a lot of reading. Everybody's got the resolutions in front of them. If there's an amendment, then we will bring that and table it. But otherwise, it can just be passed as is, as it stands on the agenda.
So as you read them in your reports, if you think you have an amendment or a question, you bring it up before we go to the next section.
We do that in caps all the time because
Yeah.
they're 2 pages long.
Yeah,
Clearly, they're on the screen and that's kind of it.
and we do it at health too. So it's a good efficiency move. Anybody else on that? You don't do it at engineering? Moved by Councillor Anderson, seconded by Councillor Brooks. Didn't think it was there, but I just do what I'm told. The corporation of the Township of Lake of Bays bylaw number 2025-100 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the June 3rd, 2025 council meeting. All those in favor? It's carried. Moved by Councillor Anderson, seconded by Councillor Brooks. Be it resolved, the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Lake of Bays hereby adjourns at 10:21 to meet again on June 24th, 2025 at 9 a.m. in a hybrid meeting setting. All those in favor? It's carried. Thank you all. Thanks for joining us from home. Have yourself a great day. Bye for now.